Ah yes, it's time for another album ranking. Today we are ranking the Finnish death doom melodic death metal band Swallow the Sun. That's right, Swallow the Sun, one of my favourite bands of all fucking time. Absolutely adore all their albums. There is not one bad album from Swallow the Sun. They are all just absolute bangers. And you know what? It's an incredibly hard ranking to rank this band because I just absolutely adore all of their albums. But of course there are some weaker albums. So Swallow the Sun are absolutely incredible band to me. Absolutely adore all their stuff. So we have 7 albums to rank, from the weakest to the best. What I want you guys to do before I start the ranking, pop your rankings down below and let's get started with it. So first of all, the weakest album by Swallow the Sun is Ghosts of Loss. Although this is a fantastic album, I just feel it's not as strong as their debut album. There are certain melodies that aren't very catchy, but there are also some really good songs on this album. I do love the overall guitar tone, and Mikko's vocals are absolutely fantastic. Mikko incorporates much more gothic vocals on this album, but incorporates more of those death doom vocals as well. Absolutely adore the song The Giant, along with Descending Winters. Just absolute banger of the songs. Each of these songs are really strong and cohesive. Ghost of Laura Palmer is an absolutely fantastic song, not to mention the drumming by Pasi as well. Just overall really good album, and it's their weakest album, but I just feel that some of these songs don't really gravitate towards me. They incorporate more of those symphonic elements throughout this album that just try to make it quite epic. But in my opinion, it is their weakest album. Mikko's vocals are very good on this. You can tell he's incorporating more cleaner vocals on this album because the debut album was sort of more death doom. This album's pretty good. It is a pretty good album. The end of the album is The Ship, which is an absolute banger. So I would put this on. But I just feel that there are other albums better than Ghosts of Loss. Next up is Hope, an absolutely enjoyable album. It really is. I fucking love it. I love all these songs like Hope, Justice of Suffering. Mikko's vocals are absolutely incredible, intense, and I love Pasi's drumming on this album. Really nice tight drum fills, and not to mention overall strong expression of the lyrics. Love the guitar tones. I love how dark and atmospheric this album is at times. Doomed to Walk the Earth is one of the best Swallow the Sun songs of all fucking time. Don't Fall Asleep, very catchy, quite melodic. And I do love how they incorporate more death doom vocals on this album. This is more of a death doom album, incorporating elements of gothic doom. I really love the fast-paced moments on this album. It's not the best sounding album production-wise, since the guitar tones do sound a little bit thin. But I just feel that this is way better than Ghost of Loss, just slightly better than Ghost of Loss. Hope is an absolutely fantastic album with some incredible songs that would just melt your heart. The lyrics, the overall frustration by Mikko as well, he conveys the emotion throughout his vocals towards the listener is absolutely fantastic. And it's just a really stellar album. Yeah, I would definitely pick up Hope. If you haven't heard Hope, go fucking check it out, although it is their second weakest. Next up is When a Shadow is Forced into a Light. This was one of my top albums of 2019, and it's this low. Can you fucking believe it? Well, this is how good Swallow the Sun is. When a Shadow is Forced into a Light is an absolutely incredible album. Love the title track. Firelights is an absolutely incredible single. I think this is what got Swallow the Sun big, to be honest. Swallow the Sun got big throughout that single Firelights because it absolutely blew everyone's mind. It really did. I remember reacting to it and I said, holy shit, this is absolutely fantastic. Mikko incorporates more harsh, aggressive vocals on this album, incorporates black metal vocals, especially throughout the song Firelights, but you also get some really soft moments as well. Upon the Water is absolutely amazing, so I really love the acoustic moments, the mellow sections, but also the heavy build. This album is quite a soft album in terms of Swallow the Sun, but it also is one of the heaviest albums in terms of Swallow the Sun. It's got the mix of heaviness and softness, which creates the amalgamation of that Swallow the Sun sound that we all come to love. Here on the Black Earth is absolutely a magnificent song. Stone Winds, Cloud on Your Side, so many amazing songs on this album. But yeah, I just feel that a lot of these albums that I've been listening to over the past 4 or 5 years, I'm starting to really fucking enjoy. And I just feel that When a Shadow is Forced into Light is probably in the middle of the tier list in my opinion. It's still a fantastic album, don't get me wrong. But yeah, there are some weaker songs. I just feel that Maybe Never Left shouldn't have ended off the album. Overall, the Crimson Crown is absolutely fantastic. I believe it's a continuation from that apparently interlude / song Lumina era that was like 14 minutes long or something. It was just some weird drony noises, something very different by Swallow the Sun. It was definitely inspired by that particular concept, which is basically your drony and him just talking, and it's quite atmospheric. It's really scary as well. I just feel that, yeah, this is definitely the continuation of Lumina Ari. Next up is Emerald Forest and the Blackbird. This album has grown so much on me. It has throughout the years that I've been listening to Swallow the Sun. Absolutely fucking love it. And I just love it. I just love it for what it is. It's just so damn different. It's more gothic. This is more of a gothic doom album. Of course, it incorporates those harsh vocals on this album, which just absolutely blows you away. The amazing Cathedral Walls featuring Annette Olsen. Absolutely incredible. I just love how beautiful and angelic that song is, and then Miko comes in with these harsh, aggressive, demonic vocals. I just love how heavy that this song gets, not to mention the gritty guitar. Some really awesome melodies on this album as well. It's quite catchy. Love the song April 14th, really enjoy it. Beautiful story of it as well. Love Labyrinth of London, Death and Corruption, just so many good songs, and this Cut Is the Deepest is an amazing song as well. Another stellar album by Swallow the Sun, and I would definitely listen to it in a heartbeat over many other albums that I have ranked in the past. Next up is the debut album, The Morning Never Came. Fantastic album, it really is. This is more of a death doom album. Really reminds me of bands such as Insomnium. That sound that Insomnium has really reminds you of this band. This is sort of a melodic death metal album, and this is the roots of Swallow the Sun. It's very doomy though, and there's some really slow elements, but Miko's vocals are absolutely intense. They are demonic as anything, and I fucking love this album, really do. Through Her Silvery Body is an amazing song, along with Deadly Nightshade. Just so many good guitar riffs on this album, and the drumming is absolutely fantastic. Really love how atmospheric this album is. It's quite an atmospheric album, and just incorporating so many surprises along the way. Swallow Horror Part 1, along with Silence of the Womb, and then got the title track to end off the album. It's one of the best closers of an album in my opinion, one of the best closers, and I absolutely adore it. If I had to give it a rating, I'd probably give it a 10. I'd probably give it a 10, that's how good this fucking band is. Absolutely incredible. If you love melodic death doom, or even melodic death metal, you're gonna really enjoy The Morning Never Came. Like, this is definitely one of the fastest albums, you could say. It's just an absolute ride. Okay, so next up is New Moon. Absolutely adore it. This album has grown on me so much. I just love how Miko experiments on this album with his vocals, and the overall guitar tone is absolutely fantastic. Could I say this is probably one of the darkest, depressing Swallow the Sun albums, you could say, and yet it's probably one of the most melodic Swallow the Sun albums as well. These Woods Breathe Evil is so damn good. This is more of a black metal song. His vocals are absolutely incredible. Swallow the Sun really dabble in black metal on this album. Miko really explores with his vocal range. I love all these songs like Falling World, Sleepless Swans, Heaven's Cries Blood, absolutely amazing. New Moon, Seven of Sorrow, Weight of the Dead to end off the album. Just so many fucking good songs off this album. It's absolutely amazing. Amazing performance. I think Leah Stanbridge, who tragically died, is also a guest singer on this album as well. And she was also a guest singer on a few other albums as well in the Swallow the Sun catalogue. But holy shit, what an incredible album this is. The drumming, the instrumentals are absolutely magnificent. I love how progressive this album is as well. There are also some proggy elements on this album with different time signatures, and definitely one of the most melodic albums by this band, and definitely one of the most catchiest albums. But damn, this album is sitting at number 2. So coming in at number 1 is no surprise. It's Songs from the North 1, 2, and 3. So in case you don't know, Swallow the Sun were becoming a little bit adventurous, and they decided to create a triple album. A triple fucking album that stretches for close to 2 hours and 40 minutes. It is an absolutely incredible album with so many different surprises along the way. The production is top notch. This is my favorite Swallow the Sun album, and it's the longest Swallow the Sun album, just because they have different sort of styles of music throughout this album. The first part is the modern day Swallow the Sun, where you got more of the death doomy sound along with the gothic sound. Then the second part of the album is more the acoustic style, where you get Miko's cleaner vocals on this album. And the third is when it's really slow, it's really doomy, and it's one of the most evil parts of the album. It is the funeral doom element, where Swallow the Sun become a funeral doom band, similar to bands like Evoken, Ahab, Mourning Beloved, so many amazing funeral doom bands. They become this. And Swallow the Sun do it right. At times sounding more like Ahab, with the really gritty guitar riffs. Like The Gathering of Black Moths is one of the heaviest songs you could possibly hear. I would, if I had a top 10, I would put The Gathering of Black Moths to be one of the heaviest songs of all fucking time. That's how heavy this song is. It's not heavy, fast heavy. It's just crushing heavy. The guitars, the drums, the production, the weight, it's just crushing on your shoulders. It's so damn good. But overall, this album is absolutely fantastic. Heartstring shattering. The Leah Stanbridge features on this album as well, with songs like Lost and Catatonic. It's a very catchy song. Then you got interesting songs in the second part, where you got the title track songs from North, got the instrumental as well. Autumn Fire is an incredible song. Just more ballady songs by Miko, more cleaner vocals. And then of course you got the Funeral Doom part, which is just something you didn't expect, from a soft part to the most heaviest Swallow the Sun album you could possibly have. And that is Songs from the North 3. Holy shit, what an incredible album it is. It is my favorite album by Swallow the Sun. I don't think Swallow the Sun could beat Songs from the North. And you know what, I can sit through it all the way through and just listen to it and not get bored, because there's so much happening on this fucking album. But I could talk about this album all day, I really could, but we have to wrap it up. Comment below your album rankings. Do you agree or disagree with my opinion? Keep the discussion going in the comment section below. Never subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one.